In the opulent yet rigid world of Buckingham Palace, the British royal family has always projected an image of flawless perfection, a divine institution untouched by human frailty. But hidden beneath the crowns and ceremonies lies a profound secret twin that exposes the heartbreaking costs of maintaining that illusion. Picture a young prince, born into unimaginable privilege as the youngest son of King George V and Queen Mary, only to be quietly removed from history because his imperfections threaten the throne's untarnished reputation. This is the tragic tale of Prince John, affectionately called Joni, whose epilepsy and developmental challenges led to a systematic erasure from public view. As his condition emerged in childhood, the royals faced an impossible choice: reveal their vulnerability or protect the monarchy at all costs. They chose secrecy, isolating him to preserve national morale amid war and scandal. Why hide a beloved child? What fears drove such drastic measures? Drawing from declassified diaries, letters, and historical records, we'll uncover how one boy's short life revealed the monarchy's ruthless priorities. Join us as we reveal the prince they tried to erase and the lingering questions about compassion versus image in the House of Windsor. On July 12, 1905, at York Cottage on the Sandringham estate, Prince John Charles Francis entered the world during the reign of his grandfather, King Edward VII, the youngest of 6 children born to the then Prince and Princess of Wales later. King George V and Queen Mary he was 6th in line to the throne. Christened in the Church of St. Mary Magdalene, Johnny was surrounded by siblings: Edward, Albert, Mary, Henry, and George. Family photos from those early years show a cherubic boy with bright eyes and a playful smile, fully integrated into royal life. He spent idyllic days in the nursery under Nanny Charlotte Lalabille, playing with his brothers and sister amid the vast estate's gardens. His parents, though formal, showed affection. George V was a devoted father, and Queen Mary encouraged closeness. Johnny appeared in public frequently, charming relatives at gatherings. The Edwardian era demanded royal perfection as symbols of empire, but in these innocent years, no one foresaw the shadows ahead. He was a happy, mischievous child, loved and visible, a true member of the Windsor dynasty before fate intervened. By age 4, around 1909, subtle changes appeared in Prince Johnny's behavior. Described as winsome and painfully slow, he showed developmental delays that puzzled his family. Then came the first epileptic seizure, terrifying event, in an era when epilepsy was misunderstood, often stigmatized as mental illness or a curse. Modern historians suggest he may also have had autism spectrum traits, evident in repetitive behaviors and social challenges. Queen Mary's private letters reveal her growing concern, calling him a dear little boy while fearing for his future. Society viewed such conditions harshly. Eugenics ideas influenced the aristocracy, raising alarms about tainted bloodlines. The royals hoped the seizures would lessen, as with some relatives, but they worsened. Johnny remained part of family life, appearing in portraits and events, but risks mounted. He missed his parents' 1911 coronation due to health fears, though cynics whispered it protected the image. Doctors offered little help. Epilepsy lacked effective treatments. This period marked the beginning of heartache, as love clashed with duty in a family bound by public expectation. As seizures increased and developmental issues became clearer, the royal family faced a painful crossroads by 1913. Prince Johnny, now 8, no longer appeared in official photographs or public events. To shield him from scrutiny and provide a calmer environment, he was moved to Wood Farm, a modest house on the Sandringham estate. This wasn't immediate banishment. He had been visible publicly until age 11, when his condition severely worsened. Devoted Nanny Lalabille accompanied him, becoming his primary caregiver and surrogate mother. Queen Mary broke tradition by inviting local children as playmates, ensuring companionship. Historical records show this as protective, not cruel, common for epileptics then, who often faced institutions. Wartime austerity and anti-German sentiment, leading to the Windsor name change, heightened pressures. Any weakness could undermine morale. Diaries indicate parental love persisted through visits. Yet, isolation began the erasure, prioritizing monarchy's strength over full inclusion. It was a mercy in harsh times, sparing Johnny judgment while heartbreaking for all. At Wood Farm, Prince Johnny found a peaceful, structured life away from palace rigors. Surrounded by gardens, he had his own plot tended with help. He spent days outdoors, planting flowers and playing. Lala Bil provided unwavering care, reading to him and organizing gentle activities. He enjoyed toy soldiers, walks, and drives, with trusted staff like coachman Thomas Hever. Family visits continued. Siblings adored his playful spirit, and parents arrived regularly. Queen Alexandra maintained a special garden for him at Sandringham. Local children joined 4 games, offering rare friendship. Despite limitations, no formal school due to challenges, Johnny thrived in simplicity. Described as optimistic and affectionate, he wrote tender letters to relatives, showing sensitivity. Photos capture a tall, happy boy in this haven, though secluded after 1916 for health. Records portray contentment, not misery. Wood Farm offered the best possible life under circumstances, emphasizing care over concealment alone. It humanizes the lost prince as joyful amid constraints. World War I erupted in 1914, transforming Britain and intensifying royal pressures. As King George V rallied the nation, anti-German hysteria targeted the family's Saxe-Coburg roots, prompting d. 1917 name change to Windsor. Prince Johnny, isolated at Wood Farm, felt the war's echoes, indirect rationing, absent staff, and family absences. His condition worsened. Seizures grew frequent and severe, limiting mobility. Public morale demanded royal strength. Revealing fragility risked scandal. Yet, he spent Christmas 1918 with family at Sandringham. A brief reunion. Propaganda painted enemies cruelly, mirroring societal stigma toward disabilities. Johnny's world shrank further, but Lala's devotion anchored him. Parallels emerged with cousin Tsarevich, Alexei's hemophilia in Russia, hidden differently amid revolution. The war underscored the monarchy's image obsession, justifying Johnny's seclusion as national necessity. It was a time of loss for all, amplifying one boy's quiet struggle within global turmoil. Despite isolation, Prince Johnny remained connected to his family through cherished visits. Siblings like Prince George swore protection, sharing tender moments. Queen Mary arrived often, her diaries noting affection amid sorrow. King George V showed kindness, interested in his son's welfare. Grandmother Queen Alexandra's garden delighted him. Anecdotes revealed Johnny's charm, mischievous yet loving, writing notes like "Nanny, I love you." Local playmates brought joy, defying strict protocol. These bonds humanize the royals, far from abandonment. Records show emotional cost. Edward, distant in age, knew him least, but others mourned deeply. Visits offered normalcy, games, stories, outings. In a duty-bound family, these glimpses revealed genuine love, clashing with era's demands. Johnny's optimism shone, endearing him to care. Such ties refute total erasure, painting a portrait of quiet devotion amid necessary separation. On January 18, 1919, tragedy struck at Wood Farm. After a day of good spirits, including a walk, Prince Johnny suffered a severe seizure in his sleep and passed away at 5:30 p.m., aged just 13. Lala Bil discovered him peacefully, his face bearing an angelic smile as reported. News shocked the family. King George V and Queen Mary rushed to Sandringham. Mary wrote in a diary of great shock but relief for his restless soul, calling death a great mercy. George echoed this privately. The funeral at St. Mary Magdalene Church was private yet heartfelt, attended by family and loyal staff. Locals mourned a beloved figure. Newspapers announced it briefly, first mentioning epilepsy publicly. Buried beside cousin Alexander John, his grave remained simple. This sudden end spared further suffering but left profound grief, marking the close of a short, challenged life. The announcement of Prince Johnny's death on January 20th, 1919, via newspapers like the Daily Mirror, was understated a curt obituary, downplaying his status. For the first time, epilepsy was publicly revealed, noting he passed with an angelic smile. Amid post-war grief, it blended into national mourning. No grand memorial, the private funeral reflected discretion. Queen Mary thanked staff faithfully, sharing sorrow, publicly yet restrained. The first break in the family circle is hard to bear. Cynics saw cover-up, But context shows typical royal reserve. It fueled later myths of inhumanity, yet aligned with Erisnorm's epileptics often hidden. The brief notice effectively erased details, minimizing impact on monarchy's image. Over time, this silence bred speculation, overshadowing a boy's loved life. The royal family's grief was profound, yet varied. Queen Mary confided deep heartache in diaries, later writing simply, "Miss the dear child very much indeed." She inscribed books in memory of our dear little prince for companions. King George called it the greatest mercy possible, reflecting relief amid pain. Siblings mourned genuinely. George felt protective loss. However, eldest brother Edward, distant, viewed it coldly as a regrettable nuisance, calling Johnny more of an animal in private letters later, apologizing for insensitivity. Lalabeel kept his portrait lifelong, treasuring a note, "Nanny, I love you." Staff and locals grieved deeply. Mixed reactions highlight emotional complexity loved, tempered by duty and detachment, far from heartless abandonment. Records show sincere sorrow, humanizing a family navigating stigma and loss in public glare.